In this video, we're going to do a jazz piano comping lesson. If you're not familiar with comping, that's that thing that you do with your hands when you're backing up other musicians. It's basically playing chords and rhythms behind other players to help them solo and provide a supporting role. So I'm going to first play you an example of comping, and then we're going to talk about the details. We're working on the tune There Will Never Be Another You. It is a jazz standard and a very important one. So I'm going to play the head one time and then an entire chorus of comping. So as I'm playing, just pay attention to what my hands are doing. See if you can pick out some of the voicings. And then when we get back, we're going to discuss some of them in detail. Here we go. All right, there's some comping on There Will Never Be Another You. Basically what you're trying to do and accomplish is rhythms, little melodies, and a bunch of chords to back up other musicians. So we're starting at the A section here, and we've got an E flat major 7 chord. So in root position, then what you want to do is think about in the left hand you can do several things. The first one is you can play the root and the 7th, so E flat and D natural. Remember our key signature is up at the top on the first line, but it's basically E flat. So you've got this. Another choice would be playing the leading tones. So you've got the 3rd and the 7th. Another choice might be to play an entire chord, where you're playing D natural, E flat, G, and B flat. You're basically taking the 7th of the chord and putting it in the bass. And another thing you could do is just play the root by itself. And then with the right hand, what you're trying to do is play little melodies and chords. So for example, if we're playing 1 and 7 in the left hand, here, in the right hand, you might play something else like this. Play other notes of the chord. In this particular case, I played an F, a G, a B flat, and a 7th, which is the D. So those two together, nice voicing. Now, one of the things you need to pay attention to if you're doing things like this, if you go through the scale, as you go up the scale, there are lots of things that you can do with other voicings. But right now, we're just handling the basics. So the first one is 1 and 7 in the left hand and play some of the chord in the right hand. If you're playing leading tones in the left hand, which is this particular voicing, then in the right hand, you might want to play fourths to spread your chord out a little bit. So you've got G, C and F. That makes a nice chord. And then the next one where you're playing this in the left hand, the more notes you play in the left hand, the less you can play in the right hand. So in this case, we might just play octaves. So you could play E flat and E flat, or F, or any note of the scale. That's an interesting one. Any note of the scale in octaves. And then if you're just playing the root in the left hand, the right hand might play what the left hand was playing the chord before. Just basically chords from the scale itself. Let's move on to the D half diminished seventh chord. In this particular case, it's D, F, A flat, and C. And so if we employ the same strategy as we did with the E flat, you could do 1 and 5 in the left hand. Well, actually, let's follow the same pattern. Let's do 1 and 7 in the left hand. And in the right hand, just play the rest of the chord. F, A flat, and C. And then if you played the leading tones in the left hand, which is the 3rd and the 7th, in the right hand, what we did over here was we played the rest of the chord. So maybe something like that, where you've got A flat, C, D, and F. And then the next one, we're playing more of the chord in the left hand, so let's just play the whole chord, which is D, F, A flat, and C. And in the right hand, we'll play an octave. In this case, let's play the 11th of the chord. So we're going to play G's on top. And then the final one, let's just play the root with D. And in the right hand, let's play something more interesting. Let's play it in this inversion, where you've got C, D, F, and A flat. And then whatever you're playing there, whether it's this one, the first one, which is, or the second one, which is this, or the third one, which is this, or the fourth one, this. What happens next is you want to find a chord that's close to there. You don't want to be jumping all around. So for example, if this is our first chord, do this with the next one. In this case, what we're doing is a little bit different in the left hand. We're playing 1 and 3 in this 10th voicing. So you got a B natural. So that's a 10th with your left hand. And in the right hand, we're just playing F, A flat, B, and D. So this is a B natural. So basically what you have in the right hand is an F diminished chord, which is 7, flat 9, 3, and 5 of the chord. Basically what we're doing is playing this first chord here, and then we're moving to this chord for the G7. So see how little the right hand moves? And all the left hand does is just go down with the bass note. And I'm playing also the 7th in this left hand as well. And then of course, if you're using another type of voicing from this bar, whether it's the second one, this is the second one, this is the third one, this is the fourth one, whatever it is, you want to find something close to there. For example, or this one, which is this. Get the idea? So you must move from one chord to the next as close as possible where necessary. Now, another thing you might have seen me do in the recording is I'm often playing scales. So for example, And I'm basically using the 6th diminished scale when I'm playing. So for example, so every other chord is the diminished chord from the 6th diminished scale. In fact, I'm going to put a link to a video where I talk about the 6th diminished scale up here in the corner. Okay, so there's some jazz piano comping ideas. I hope you like that. If you have any questions or comments about today's material, just post it in the comments below and I'll be sure to get back to you. And let me know specifically what you'd like to focus on, and I can make a video about that as well. Okay, let me put a link to where you can download the notes from today's session. It's just basically this one page. I'm going to throw that link up here in the corner. Also, you can see it below in the description. So it's just a link where you can download the notes and basically practice them, practice these chord voicings that I've written out. Okay, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, I'd love that. That'd be great. Just click the little bell when you subscribe because you'll be notified of all the upcoming videos that we make. Thanks so much for your time. We'll see you in the next video.